This Song of Moses is something that every Israelite was supposed to memorize. It's supposed to shape your understanding of who you are and what God has called you to be and do. Today, we're going to look at how King David's understanding of these stories shaped his mind and how he understood the events in his own life. And I suppose more importantly, how he describes them. Good evening. Happy after the Sabbath days and Shabbat Shalom. Shalom, Shalom. Welcome back to Study the Bible, Not the Sermon TV. If this is your first time here, welcome. We have come to understand strange Bible stories up in here. If you move by something you see, hear, or read while you up in here, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe, and then slide on our notifications bell. And if you're a regular, please drop me a comment so I can shout you out on the next joint. And to Pretense Lucas, hope I pronounced that correctly, I appreciate your attention to the important matters that I discussed here and the details discussed on this playlist, boy, 100. Last week we talked about Israel being delivered from Egypt, but we didn't read the story of the Red Sea. We read the poem of the Red Sea, also known as the Song of Moses. This Song of Moses is something that every Israelite was supposed to memorize. It's supposed to shape your understanding of who you are and what God has called you to be and do. Today, we're going to look at how King David's understanding of these stories shaped his mind and how he understood the events in his own life. And I suppose more importantly, how he describes them. In 2 Samuel 22, we pop in at the end of David's story. Let it sit on the screen. He's the elder, an old man now. This is a song that David sang as he reflected on how he was saved when he was on the run. First, he ran to the wilderness to hide from King Saul. Then, after David had been king for a while, his son Absalom pulled a coup d'etat in Jerusalem, and he had to flee, this time to the wilderness of Judah. So David spent a lot of time outside the garden land in the wilderness. And both times he does it fleeing from his enemies. Check out the imagery that he uses in verse 2, 2 Samuel 22:2. And he said, "The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer." Turn up, boy. Yahweh is my rock and my fortress. Come on, y'all. So when David's out here in this wilderness land and he can't actually be on top of the rock that is like Eden in Jerusalem, who is his portable rock that he can take with him wherever he goes? That's the image. Yahweh. Yahweh is like a little Eden holding him down. In verse 3, high tower, refuge, even shield are all high rock images. In verse 4, because of the high rock, enemies can't get to him. Now let's read verse 5. When the waves of death come past me, floods of ungodly men make me afraid. So I know you get what he's saying, but we're using water imagery to describe the ops, to describe David's enemies. Verse 6, the sorrows of hell compassed me about, the snares of death prevented me. Compass me or circling me to drag me back, and snare of death. Remember, snare is a trap. These waters are trying to drag David back into death. I say back into death because the earth started in the waters, remember? That is literally what Genesis 1 verse 2 taught us so many weeks back in this series. So we can, just like David can, be in the wilderness and talk about his experience in the wilderness as a watery flood, dragging him into the underworld, dragging him into death. So this is David's remix to Genesis 1 verse 2 and Exodus 15 and interprets his life from that context. Low-key, David's poem is also shaped by Genesis chapter 2, but we had to talk about that when we get to Genesis chapter 2. Hopefully, all can see how these metaphors work. Now you can swap in and out waves, deep, wilderness, pit, grave, death. They all mean the same thing, but they all bring out different aspects of it. Short show tonight, but next week we're going to keep it going with King David, and I'm going to select a couple of the Psalms, and we're going to see something very similar yet again. See y'all next week when we set to premiere at 9:39 p.m. Saturday nights, Lord willing. Till then, we up.